All right, let's go back in the Wayback Machine. I want to ask you another transition in your racing career, and that is mini stocks to the Act car. And let's go back in time, because when you did that, like, to me, the progression of the Act car at the bowl is Larry Goss buys one, he wins a race, but no one really takes notice until Botticello comes in the 03 sparingly, but almost every time he comes, he wins. And then you show up in 06 and kick everybody's ass, and then Bruce, and then it's off and running. I think by 07, basically everybody but Rich Durante by then is now an Act car, right? Yeah. So what did you, like, talk about, like, what did you see in those cars? Like, what made you say, hey, we're not going street racing, let's try these things out? Why'd you take the year off?
That was because of that Botticello car was pretty good. And and we just wanted to be able to have options to go racing.
Trusted that that's where the future was going?
I think so, because we actually, Bob Fletcher was one of our old sponsors, Brown's Auto Center.
Oh, yeah.
And he gave me a chassis, a G car that my uncle built, and I think I helped with some probably like screwing up some bars or something, welding them in, or doing the sheet metal wrong and getting yelled at or something. But he gave me a car because he was always painting our cars, and we were like, all right, I'm gonna go late model racing then. But then, like, the motor, same with the motor deal. Like, you could buy an open, unrestricted.
Is that what it was back then?
Yeah, there was no crate motors unless you went at car racing. With an at car, they had a sealed motor, spec motor. And that drove that decision for us, because people were just spending big money back then. Like, I think Corey Hutchins and Alan Coates and all those guys were just. I just remember hearing numbers when I was like 21 of like $20-something thousand, and I'm like, no.
You remember the time late in the year, I think it was your rookie year, that Rondo came back in some car with a ton of motor.
31 car? Pinnacle Pete?
No, it was after that. So, because that was 2004, and he just came back. I don't know if it was 06 or 07. He came back for like 3 or 4 races, maybe 5 at the end of the year. I forget. It wasn't a number 19. I don't even know if it was his car. But it had a ton of motor. It was open motor. Mm-hmm. And I remember just watching one time. I was in turn 3, and he caught up with you down the straightaway.
Yep.
And you just blew by him in the turns. You
yeah.
Left him in the dust.
That's what was cool about those cars.
Right.
Like, they only had like 350 horsepower. I don't know what they have now.
I don't have no idea.
But yours probably has more.
No idea.
Good answer. They were just like the most affordable option to go racing at, and street stocks were like a late model almost, and you're still spending money on a motor for a street stock. So we're like, why don't we just go ACK racing?
Where are you getting information from then, though? Like, nobody was running that car. How do you figure it out?
You just we got like a baseline from Race Basics. It was a Race Basics car. We bought it from.
Are they still around?
They became Crazy Horse and then got bought out by Port City, or they're a dealer for Port City. I don't know.
Those names I know.
I'm not in the loop anymore.
So you get there and like you start winning almost immediately. I mean, just take me through that. Is it like it can't be this easy? Is there a time during that season when you're like, it can't be this easy to win this many races my first year?
No. I thought I sucked bad in the beginning. Like, if I'll sometimes just go back and watch old stuff.
Yeah.
You ever do that, Diego? And you're like,
never.
I don't remember that.
You don't,
race.
Diego? Really?
Yeah, I wish I a lot of people do.
You were pretty good. You should.
If you do it, but this is what happens when you do it. You're like, I don't remember this, and then you're like, man, I was terrible. Like, you just watch what you're doing, and you're like, oh my god, I wish I could go back in time knowing what I know, because you wouldn't be doing the stuff on the track that you were doing.
Right.
But that's kind of how it was.
Okay, so this is interesting. You're right. So, Corey Hutchins wins the opener, rain out. Joe Perry wins, rain out. Larry Goss wins. Jay Stewart wins, flooded out. Timmy wins his first race.
In the 5th time.
Yeah, in the 5th race.
Yep.
And then it starts getting progressively better. Mm-hmm. You win again in 2 weeks, and you win again in 3 weeks, and then you win 4 in a row.
Yep.
Damn.
In the middle of the year.
Yeah, I had to figure it out.
That's
I remember like one of those. But what I was saying is one of those videos. I like tanked it off the wall by myself trying to pass somebody on the outside. I'm like, I still do that, I guess.
Right.
Not usually with usually I get assistance when that happens now.
Right.
But like I totally did that myself back then. Like, oh man, like
Yeah, but you've always driven that way.
I like the top.
No, yeah, but no, you have
Top
been
pair's
like
good.
I've always thought that you're passive aggressive, and you're always all out. Even I don't care if you're running in ninth.
Yeah.
You're hanging it out there. That's what I remember the most about you. I think
Back then.
But even now though, like
Yeah.
even back when I was finishing my career back in like 15, 16, we were fast.
Well, that was a frustrated Timmy Jordan because
Yeah.
it took me like a year to win.
Yeah,
I remember that first year. We were actually really good. We were
Yep.
just consistently like second to Keith,
Yep.
fourth to Keith,
Yeah.
fifth to you guys, and I would just never win. And I'm just like, oh my god.
So
Yeah.
I find this fascinating, right? So 06 is definitely a transition year, late models, right?
Yep.
So Corey, Joe Perry, they have the G cars.
G cars.
Right? Larry Goss was an act car.
Yep.
Jay was a G car.
Yep.
Then you, then Jay, then you. Alan was a G car. Then Glenn Colvin, that was a G
G-car.
car, right?
Yep.
That was
Then
my
you
old
win
car.
4 in a row.
Yep.
Colvin again, that's the Wozniak night.
Yep.
Alan Coates still in the G car, then Larry Goss, then Alan Coates with a 100 lapper, and then Corey Hutchins sweeps the what was that, double down shootout thing?
That
they had?
Alan Coates might have been in a
No,
car.
that was 07.
That wasn't the Sanger
Because
Mono car.
yeah, so that's where I'm getting at. So the next year, 2007, all act cars win. Bruce, Allen, and Sangermanos, Timmy, Bruce, Timmy, Bruce, Botticello, Ed Reed, who was in Larry Goss's
Yep.
team car, back-to-back wins. Bruce for 3 in a row. Dennis, Bruce, Ed Reed, Larry Goss, Bruce, Timmy, Bruce. The entire division's act cars now.
Right.
One year of you coming in as a rookie, kicking ass. It changes
Yeah.
the whole game.
That 07 season, we didn't run a full season either.
Right,
Did you
yeah.
win the championship in 06?
06,
06
10,
and 2010.
Yep. We ran full time in 06 and 10. In 08, I think we finished second. 7 and 9, we didn't run full time.
Yeah.
So
That's what
Rob
my mom
and
was
Remy, I don't know if you guys know this either, but Timmy was involved in one of, at least for the fans, one of the most epic rivalries. We talk about rivalries a lot with him and Bruce Thomas because they were the two that figured out the act cars. And I know Bruce says there wasn't one. I don't know what your perception is.
Was there one? I didn't feel like there was.
I mean, with the fans, it was. To me, we
Yeah.
had a glimpse of it with Ray and Jason Palmer a couple years ago, but it was like that with those two for like 5 years.
He's a better liar than me if he says no.
Where I think that is
There was,
I don't know. I don't
100%.
know Bruce well, but
If
I think that's
anybody
part of
says-
his game.
If anybody says there wasn't, they're playing the game.
Right, is to say that they didn't, that it wasn't.
Yeah.
But
It's all good now, but back then it wasn't.
right, of course
Like,
not.
100%.
Generally didn't like each other.
Yes.
But rivalries are really about the fans
Right.
more than anything.
Right.
And those races, I mean, more times than not, they had small fields there. And more times it was not. It was when you guys would get to the front, because you ultimately would, and then you would duke it out.
Yep.
And it would be either an epic battle or you guys would wreck.
Yeah.
and
One or
as
the
a
other.
fan,
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
all jammed up about it. And I think that you guys actually saved that division for a while because during that transition, like Alan and Corey
Left.
Jay
Yep.
Stewart went to Stafford, like all the G Cars guys left. Mark St. Hilaire left.
Yep.
And you guys carried that until Jeff Smith came, and then Dylan Moltz came, and then Rocco was there, and then they had the car counts were still down a little bit, but there was still some good racing with some good car. And then Jason came, Vinny Esposito was there, Flannery came.
Yeah.
It had a good run with some good drivers for
Oh, yeah.
for quite a while. And I think you guys, that rivalry that you guys saved that division, because without that, I hate to say it, it's kind of what it is now.
Right.
What we just saw the other day, which was just 8 cars running around in a circle.
Right.
You know, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a tough deal now because, like, even back then, like, people were like, "Why am I buying one of these if I can't go anywhere else with it?" Then Thompson kind of changed to him, and I'm like, "All right,
Right.
it's gonna get some traction." And Seekonk runs them, which
Yeah.
I'm like, "But Seekonk runs the same night as a Speedbowl,
Right.
so it's like you almost need to reevaluate, like, either when you're running or
Right.
how you're running." Like, I don't know. It's tough. The Yak cars have always been a tough division to
They have
to nail
been.
down.
It's been a tough division since they converted.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, without those two, where would it have been?
Yep.
You know, and it's
And I kind of get like why Stafford won't change. Like everyone's like, why are they so stubborn about it? I'm like, because they have a decent amount of cars. Like
Right.
why would you change it? Like
Yeah, don't take the gamble.
I'm pretty sure I'd have to go back and look. I think Terry said in the Speedbowl doc that I don't know if he used the word regret, but he was kind of like, if I had to do it over again, I don't know if I'd make the change because the goal was to make the change because the late models had the worst car count.
Yeah,
and it didn't really solve that problem. And you can make the argument that that the car counts have actually got worse.
Got worse.
I mean, they bumped, like we were just talking, they bumped up a little bit from the heyday of Timmy and Bruce, where they were 12, 15, 16 for a little while. But these last few years has been pretty brutal.
Yeah.
And I mean, Terry made that decision when the late models were getting 18, 19, 20, and everybody else was getting 25, so they had the lame car count.
Right.
As crazy as
And
that
they would
sounds
kill
now.
for that now.
Right, exactly. But they didn't really solve the problem. But I don't know if you were bringing in more late model guys.